What is going on, everyone? We are back in our Chicago Bears franchise in Madden 17. We have reached the midpoint of the season, so it is time to take a break and take a look around the league in this mid-season update. Now, first, we're going to take a look at the stats so far for the first half of the year. QB is a little bit weird because of the injury to Dudley. It's Romo there at the top with 616 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. And Dudley, since he's been back in the last couple weeks, has not been super great in his play. 545, 3 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions and just 58 completion percentage. It's been a rough couple games. Melvin Gordon having himself another good year, 690, 6 touchdowns, just short of 100 yards per game. Jeremy Langford, I need to get more carries apparently, 11 carries, but 7 yards per carry and a touchdown. Forrest, on the other hand, 75 yards, but he has just 2.3 yards per carry. Now, he is our short yardage guy, but would like to see the average a little bit better than that. Receiving, Daniel Braverman is leading us with 312 yards. No touchdowns for him, though. Alshon Jeffrey, 258 and 2 touchdowns. He does lead the team in catches with 28. Higbee, 233 and 2 touchdowns. Then we have Tyreek Hill, who has been hurt since week 1, so he's at 164 and a touchdown, but we will be getting him back in a couple of weeks. And then moving on to defense, it's Adrian Amos leading us with 50 tackles, Fuller with 41. We got Rollins with 38 and Greg with 35. At tackles for loss, it is going to be Adrian Amos tied with Voorhees Greg and Pernell McPhee at the top with 6 apiece. Sacks, it's going to be Leonard Floyd leading us with 8 sacks in the first half. Hagman right behind him with a 7, and Pernell McPhee with 5. And then interceptions, it's the rookie Malik Craig with 4, Amos with 2, and then Floyd, Greg, Fuller, and Lippett with 1. Now on to the league leaders here, and it's going to be Blake Bortles in the lead with 2,300 yards. Brock Osweiler still up there in second. He was leading when we looked earlier in the year. Carson Palmer has 18 touchdowns to go with 4 interceptions, having a very good year. Alex Smith has 12 picks. Drew Brees has 10. Surprised to see him with so many interceptions. Bryce Petty, his replacement, has 9 down in New Orleans, and Jameis Winston has 9 as well. Now the running game, Melvin Gordon is in second place, just 15 yards behind Ezekiel Elliott. Adrian Peterson, Giovanni Bernard up there. Theo Riddick up there on the top of that list as well. Adrian Peterson leads the league with 8 touchdowns, 7 for Elliott and Procise, and Melvin Gordon tied for third there with 6. Jordy Nelson leads the league in catches with 58. It's going to be Kelvin Benjamin leading receiving yards with 675, 9 ahead of Julian Edelman. Stevie Johnson right there, and Madison Grossman right there as well. Touchdowns, it's going to be Keenan Allen with 8 already in the first half. Michael Floyd with 7. And then we got Grossman, Eldridge, some young guys there with 6. On defense, it's Navarro Bowman leading the league with 77 tackles. That's well outpacing our top performer, Adrian Amos. Linval Joseph has 13 tackles for loss along with Spurlock there. And then sacks, it's going to be 7.5 for William Haynes. And this should be Leonard Floyd, so we're getting that same sort of glitch there. So looking at the NFC, you see Leonard Floyd atop there with 8. So he is leading the NFL with 8, and Rashid Hagman right behind him with 7. And then interceptions, another thing here where our guy Malik Craig's not showing up, so he is tied for the lead league in interceptions with Richard Sherman and Orlando Scandrick. So we have some Bears there on defense having some very, very good seasons so far, especially the rookie Craig has been amazing. Offensive yards, we're 31st in offensive yards, which isn't really any surprise because the passing game has not been great. Defense has been fantastic. First in defensive yards, 16th in points scored, and then 4th in points allowed. So the defense, again, having a good year. Offense needs to pick it up. Blake Bortles is in the lead for MVP. Phillip Rivers, Osweiler behind him. NFC, it's going to be Cam Newton in the lead for Offensive Player of the Year ahead of Ezekiel Elliott. Defensive Player of the Year, it's going to be Navarro Bowman. We have Leonard Floyd there at number 5. Nice to see someone on our defense getting some recognition there. Forston is 6th on the list for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Malik Craig is 4th. Surprised he's so far down considering the success he's having. Melvin Gordon 2nd in running back. Leonard Floyd 1st in linebacker. Malik Craig 1st in DB. So he's 1st in DB, but 4th in the rookie voting, which is a little bit weird to see. Now on to scouting, and at the midpoint, I have been able to scout quite a few players. Wide receiver looks to be a very deep first-round class, but after that, there isn't a ton of guys that looks to be too good. So far, I have those guys at the top, and then everything else is red, similar to what we had when I showed you earlier in the year, but scouting more guys, still have not been able to find any later round picks, so I'm not sure what we're going to be doing in the draft. Obviously, we're going to have to wait and see where we pick, but you can see still pretty thin at line. We got 1 left tackle, 1 left guard total that we've scouted, no centers, 1 right guard that we've found, and 1 right tackle. As you see, the other guy there, a third rounder, is graded out in the 6th. Left end, defensive end really is the same story. 1 guy showing green on either side of the defensive ends, and then 1 D tackle, but he is a 5th rounder. So we'll continue to scout there. We found a couple mid-round outside linebackers on the left side, which is nice. No one on the right side, though. Both those guys not showing out. And then corner is even worse. Cornerback might have the weakest position in this entire draft. Fortunately, free safety is very strong, and then strong safety I've put 1, but not really worried about that position. I'll continue to scout some of these weaker positions to try and find any gems that we can, but for now, that's going to be it for scouting. Now on to standings. The Steelers lead the AFC North ahead of the Browns and the Bengals, Ravens in last. Jaguars are 7-1. Obviously, Blake Bortles having a very good year, and that is showing. Titans are in second at 6-2, and then the Texans, Colts, well behind both of them. Colts 1-6 on the season, not very good at all. Bills lead the AFC East. They are 4-3, a half game ahead of the 4-4 Patriots. Jets losers of 3 in a row in the last tie with the Dolphins at 3-4. In the AFC West, it is going to be the Chargers at 6-1, winners of 6 in a row. Broncos right behind them at 5-2. Chiefs are 4-3, and the Raiders at 3-5. Now on to the NFC, and it's the NFC North. And here you see a second year in a row where our division just, well, it sucks. The Lions are in second at 2-5. Packers are 2-6, and the Vikings are 1-6, losers of 5 in a row. Packers have lost 4 in a row, so looks like we're pretty safe. Safe bet to win the division this year, which is unfortunate. I wish it was more competitive. NFC South, the Panthers are well ahead in this one, 6-2. Buccaneers are 3-4, tied with the Saints, and then the Falcons are 2-4-1. So Panthers, winners of 6 in a row, look to be in command there in the NFC South. Next up, the NFC East, always a very competitive division, and right now the Giants are in the lead at 4-3. Cowboys are 4-4. Eagles and Redskins are 3-4. Redskins have lost 3 in a row. Cowboys have lost 2 in a row. So still, though, anyone's game there in the NFC East, as it normally is. And then the NFC West, the Seahawks are in first at 5-2, and then it's the Rams at 5-3. Cardinals at 3-5, tied with the 49ers. 49ers started the year out well. They have lost 4 in a row now and are now in last place. So there are the standings. Our games upcoming here. We got the Vikings next week, winners of 1 game and in last place. The Dolphins are in last place, and then the Cardinals may be a little bit better, but we got some very winnable games coming up here in the next couple weeks. And seeing the standings there in the NFC North, it isn't crazy to think we might be able to wrap up the division within the next 3 or 4 weeks. That probably isn't necessarily possible, but 3-4 weeks we'll be at like week 12, week 13. We could be 5-6 games up in the division with how badly the rest of the NFC North has played. So we're just going to keep focused, continue ahead, play our football, try and win every single game. We're sitting at 6-1, perfect situation as this team feeling pretty good. We got some things to work on. The passing game has not been great, so actually maybe fortunate that we are doing so well considering the offense has not been exactly perfect, but at least the defense has been playing awesome, and we can always rely on them and knowing that we're not necessarily going to give up a ton of points, and the offense can figure it out hopefully before the year is finished. So that is it for this midseason update. Next time, Week 9 on the road in Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Yes, they have only won 1 game, but divisional games always tough ones, so expect a good one out of the Vikings. But that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead and give it a like. I'd really appreciate it. And subscribe to see any future videos that I make. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.